Hey guys, US Miniman here. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I thought the next video in my comeback of trying to do all these videos, I'd do a kind of a Q&A. Hope to find some questions. I asked a couple people for questions, and got about 5 questions here for the first part. Um, if I do this in the future, I'll be looking for more questions or researching questions and try to answer them as best as possible. Try to keep it as short as possible. Also, try not to waste your time. And what started this video off is when I was talking to a buddy who's in the military, and through our conversation about a couple things related to firearms, I was like, "Oh, this would be a good chance to answer some questions that people may have." So the first question, which I want to answer, is came from my friend over in the military, and he asked me, "Are hollow points illegal?" Now this is kind of a common misconception because they are not illegal on the civilian market, not at all. They may have been at one point. I have not looked at the history. Supposedly there was something in like the 80s or something where they banned hollow points or something, but I'm not 100% sure about that. For the most part, in the United States, on the civilian market, they are not illegal, and they are preferred in a self-defense gun that you may use because of the fact that it could stop the threat easier and won't over-penetrate as much, possibly hurting targets that you did not mean to hurt. So hollow points are not illegal. Now in the military, because he is in the military, they are illegal on the battlefield, internationally, due to the Geneva Convention, I believe, or some other treaty. Hollow points are illegal. So I think that's where his confusion came about in that question. So hollow points are not illegal civilian-wise. Military, they are. Alright, so the second question that actually comes from my same friend, we started talking about this new ammo and my thoughts on it. It's the G2 RIP ammunition. Now, for those of you who may not know, it's a frangible ammunition kind of mixed into a hollow point. So it looks like a hollow point with a lot of different little kind of spikes on the front of the hollow point, and it's designed to come apart, not just unfold and mushroom, but to actually come apart, which is why I call it kind of frangible, because frangible, it completely breaks apart. And what I thought about it. Now, as I watch it, the performance of it isn't going to be that much more than frangible ammo. It's kind of a good intermediate between hollow points and frangible, because frangible is mostly for hard targets, just for target practice. This is kind of a controlled breakage. So it kind of combines the hollow point and frangible ammo, from what I can see. And he was, talking about how people shouldn't own this. This is nasty stuff. And you look at it, and yeah, it looks nasty. It looks like it, is some torture device bullet of some kind. But knowing how bullets work and how hollow points work and frangible ammo works, I do not see it that way. But here's what I will say about it. The way it's marketed and branded, it is designed and marketed to kill. Now, all bullets kill, that's just the way that bullets are designed. But the way this is just put out there, it's like, this is the last round you'll ever need. It'll just tear everything apart, and, kind of like the similar concept of a shotgun blowing people away. The way they market it, they market it as a killing tool, as opposed to a self-defense tool, which is not, in my opinion, not a good thing, because we're trying to get away from that. As a self-defense promoter, that's not the image that I want to portray. So performance-wise, I may like the bullet. I may like it or not. I don't know. I'd have to shoot it and find out. But as far as marketing goes, I don't really enjoy the way that they promote it. So I don't think I will be getting that ammo. Maybe we'll see in the future when it comes into production. And besides, it'll probably be kind of a more expensive bullet anyway, so who knows. So that's how I feel about that. So, another question I got from a coworker who just happened to ask me this question, because I wear my holster at work, but I don't put the gun in it because I'm not allowed to carry the gun. And my manager says, you know, the holster's fine, whatever, just don't bring the gun in there. Which is, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna lose my job over it, but it does suck a little bit. Anyway, one of my coworkers saw the holster, we got into a conversation. Do you carry all the time? And I said yes. Now, I carry anytime I leave the house, with the exception of being at work, in the shop at work. And that's only, you know, because I gotta keep my job, I need the money. You know, I can't afford to lose my job. Other than that, I'm carrying. And that's it. Because, you know, a gun left at home does me no good if I ever get in a situation where I need to defend myself. So, I carry all the time. I even carry at home. And I'm carrying right now, you know. And if it's not on my body, it's somewhere close. You know, if I'm not wearing the right clothes to actually, you know, hold my belt up or something like that, then, you know, my firearm is near me on a table or tucked away somewhere where I know where it's at and I can get to it. Alright. So, another friend of mine named Andy asks, what resources would you recommend to an individual who has a CHL, which is a concealed handgun license in Oregon? It also could be a CCW or a CPL, and travels often. Here's what I will say. If you are someone who wants to carry and you travel often within the states, first of all, go for the Utah and the Arizona licenses. A lot of states will recognize the Utah license. That's the most popular license because you can carry in so many states. I want to say 30 plus states. And then if you add Arizona to it, you get a couple more states. So you can carry in all these states with those two licenses. And then if you live in a state that isn't recognized by those two, then get that whatever state that, if it offers one, which is like how I am. I got my Oregon, which does not recognize Utah or Arizona, but I also got Utah, so I can carry in Washington. I did not get Arizona. I may get that down the road, but I didn't see myself needing it in the states that it provided. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, even if you have those, wherever you're going, whatever state you're going to, or whatever state you're going through, if you're driving through, maybe you're flying through it, you know, and making a stop, know their laws. Pick up, research, find out what laws pertain to that state, because you don't want to be caught with a firearm and not realizing that you're carrying a gun illegally. Not only is it probably a felony charge, you get your guns taken away, you get your license taken away, you know, you're in jail. It's bad news. So definitely look at what your state laws are. And also, it doesn't hurt to help look into cities as well, because some cities have ordinances that may conflict with state laws. For example, in my state of Oregon, it's an open carry state. You can carry openly without a permit throughout most of the state, except a few cities, a half a dozen cities or so. You have to have a permit to open carry. So keep that in mind. And the last question, which was I felt like was the hardest question for me to answer, was from Chris Larson. It's a long question, so bear with me. What is the benefit of investing in a multi-platform AR? I just bought a 300 Blackout AAC rifle. While it's a complete rifle by AAC, I had the option of buying the upper only. I got into looking into many calibers that are for the AR platform and was wondering if I went with the wrong route with 300 AAC. 6.8, 5.7 by 28, and so on. So many options available. I think the 300 was the best choice for me, but who knows? Maybe another upper is in the way in near future to fit one for my existing lowers. Now, my initial benefit, I'm going to say, is cost. You have a lower, and then it comes with an upper. Say it does the 300 AAC blackout, and you can buy an upper for another round, another caliber. That is half a gun. So the only thing you need to buy is the upper and the magazines. So, cost effective, it definitely helps you out. Versatility is also another one, because if you have this rifle, you have this lower and you have these two uppers, not only if you are, for example, in a survival situation, maybe country goes down, blah blah blah, you can find your 300 blackout rounds, or you can find your other rounds and you can still use that rifle. So versatility comes into play. Now, one thing to keep in consideration if you're buying an AR for a multi-platform is if you get an AR-15 that shoots 5.56 or 2.23, keep in mind you're not going to be able to convert that to a 7.62, for example. And the reason for that is even if you get the upper for it, the magazine well is going to be smaller on the AR-15 because of the 5.56 rounds. So you're not going to be able to get a 7.62 magazine in there. So that's something definitely to consider. Now, a 5.56 has conversion kits, I believe, or the AR-15 has conversion kits for 5.56, 2.23, and then you can put, I think you could put like the 50 Beowulf magazines with the upper in there. I think you could do pistol calibers and a few others. But if you want to go larger than that, then you're going to have to buy an AR-10 and then work your way down. And so there's kind of like two different classes. So do your research if you're doing a multi-AR platform. So don't buy an AR-15 expecting to be able to convert it to a 7.62, because that magazine well will be too short. So keep that in mind if you're going for a multi-AR platform. Alright, that is all the questions I have today. Hope that may have helped out any of you who had these questions or may need them in the future. If you got more questions out there, please send them my way and I'll try to do another video like this. And hopefully I will have another video out here soon, probably about my FNS 40, since I have not done a review on that one yet. So I will see you guys later, and carry smart.